Chapter 13. The butterfly house is hot and humid, and I find a place to sit within the small jungle where I can't be seen from the roped off path the zoo visitors follow. Sweat forms on my forehead, my neck trickles down my back, my clothes get damp, but I just sit there. It's silent in here, apart from the low drone of the machines responsible for the heat and the humidity. I draw in a damp breath. Water is trickling everywhere. Underneath, I hear a hum of motors. There's no stink, like most places in the zoo, only the sweet smell of rotting fruit and foreign flowers. Some butterflies don't eat at all. They are born, they procreate, and they die of starvation. It's hard to see the point, but I guess eating doesn't add much point neither does talking or praying or watching TV. Kyle won't find me in here. He won't even search inside buildings like this one, because he thinks I'm afraid of ceilings and walls. I can sit here forever without him finding me. One by one, butterflies land on me, until a dozen are sitting on me, on my legs, my shoulders, my hair. They sit still for ages, antennae barely quivering. I don't know why they decide to sit on me, what they're thinking. It's not like I have any pollen for them. Maybe they're sleeping. They probably don't have brains big enough to be thinking. The heat makes me thirsty, and in the end I give in and find a vending machine and spend some of my last coins on a soda. I head toward the elephants because that's where I feel safest. We don't make it all the way because a familiar figure sits on a bench outside the aquarium. Go away, Brian, I say. I throw the almost empty soda can at him. Dark fluid sputters at his feet. Go away, leave me alone. Brian looks behind me. Do you live in that guy's pocket or something? I twist around. Kyle is here, behind me, staring at my brother. He must have been following me, watching out for me. I want to roll my eyes, but they're watering. I guess you must be Luke, Kyle says. Luke? Brian looks at me, back at Kyle, and then grins. Leia's brother? Right, I'm Luke. Did you run away too, Kyle asks. How much have you told your boyfriend here? Brian asks. I feel my face turn bright red. I can't look at Kyle. Shut up, I hiss at my brother. She's never had a boyfriend before, Brian explains to Kyle. Too shy. You should see her at school. She nearly squeezes into the walls when she walks down the hallway. And if someone tries to talk to her, her face turns white and then red, and she looks like they're about to drag her into a gas chamber. I turn my back and stride away, but Brian doesn't fall into step behind me. When I look back, the two of them are sitting together on that bench, Brian gesturing as he talks, gesturing toward me like he's talking about me. I hurry back, because the only thing worse than having Brian talk to Kyle about me is him doing that when I'm not there to do damage control. I grab my brother's arm and pull him away. When he looks back at my hand, circling his wrist, I quickly let go of the warm leather. Don't, I say. Go away. Just go away. Leave him alone. Leave me alone. You like him, Brian says. You like him, he says in a sing-song voice, and I want so badly to kick him. What are you doing back here? Visiting my crazy sister at the animal asylum. Go away. I'm finished with you. Do you even know what day it is today? I have no idea. I have lost track of time. I only know Mondays because the zoo opens later. I think it's still July, but I'm not sure. 4 years today, Brian tells me. It's August 1st. 4 years. Mom, I whimper as the words scrape across my mind. Mom. No candle in the window for her this year, princess? No red rose on her grave, mommy's girl? Shut up. You said you want to remember, sis? You want to remember? So you know that you're not crazy? Well, remember Mom too. Remember what she did. She didn't do anything. Exactly. She couldn't do anything. She didn't know. She couldn't. It wasn't quite like that, Princess Leia, Brian says with a sneer. You want to remember? Remember that too. I remember. It's just me and Mom and Brian at home, and we've been fighting, and Mom tries to intervene. And then Brian and Mom are yelling. Brian yelling nasty things from the top of the stairs while Mom cries in the kitchen. He yells curses, insults, bleeding words, and once in a while she yells back, telling him to shut up, threatening him, at last yelling at him at the top of her lungs, telling him to wait until he gets home. And then Brian says it. He tells her what happens while she's working shifts downtown. He tells her what's in the file cabinet in the basement. He uses words I didn't know could be spoken. He shouts it out. It echoes down the stairs and throughout the house, and then a throbbing silence fills my ears. My blood turns to molasses in my veins as I wait for Mom's answer. I hear her walk to the stairs, up a step or two. I hear her hiccup a laugh, a low, fake laugh, like when she laughs at a lame joke, a joke that's not really funny, or maybe one she doesn't understand. I hear her call up, "What did you say?" I hold my breath. I feel like my world is a tiny metal capsule about to burst, projecting deadly fragments in all directions. Brian is silent. He doesn't repeat his accusations, but he doesn't retract his words either. The stairs don't creak, so Mom hasn't moved up or down. She's still standing there, halfway up, halfway down, and not saying anything either. My lungs are screaming for oxygen by the time I hear the stairs creak again. She's heading down, not up. Nothing more happens. Breath leaves my body in a silent explosion. My world is still here, the metal capsule intact, forgotten for now, but still deadly. I told her what was going on. Remember? Brian growls. I told her straight out, and she didn't believe me. She even laughed it off like a joke. She didn't hear you, I say, hiccuping around the words burning up my throat because I want so badly to believe what I'm saying. She didn't hear what you said. She asked you what you'd said. You didn't repeat it. It's your fault. Your fault. If you'd repeated it, she heard me the first time. She didn't want me to repeat it. She didn't want to hear it. She may not have been on his side, but she wasn't on our side either. She never even tried. We don't know. Maybe she did. We don't know what happened the day they died. We don't know. On the day she died, what has that got to do with it? I feel my chin tremble like I'm 5 years old. Brian looks at me, Riley pity and anger and disgust taking turns on his face. So that's what Mommy's girl's been hoping all this time. I turn away from him. You're hoping the accident was no accident, Brian continues. You're hoping she drove off that bridge on purpose. You're hoping she made an ultimate sacrifice for us. It's my secret dream, one I dare not think about too much, and I blink in the glare of Brian's intrusion, cower when he smears dirt all over my fantasy. Seriously, Brian sneers. That's actually what you've been hoping? How stupid can you be? It could have, I hiccup weakly. It could have happened that way. Nobody knows what happened. Nobody knows what she wasn't even driving, Princess Leia. I've read the accident report. It's in the drawer with our birth certificates and all the other documents. Haven't you read it yourself? I shake my head and deny everything. The insurance company made sure there was a thorough investigation before they coughed up the life insurance money. You know Mom hardly ever drove when she was with him, and she wasn't driving that day. My mind swerves looking for options, exits, rays of hope. Maybe she grabbed the wheel. She could have grabbed the wheel and, yeah, right. She could have. She could have done pretty much anything at any time, right? I hold my hands over my ears, and I don't want to hear Brian's sarcasm. Mom didn't save us, he says flatly, pulling both my hands away from my ears, holding them tight so I have no choice but to listen. Face it, Princess Leia, nobody saved us. Nobody even tried to save us. Mom never did anything. We just got lucky. We got lucky they died.